No, fuck you. Rotation. What's wrong with y'all, man? It's on this. So no, y'all not gonna trick me into thinking of something different. And you done fucked up my intro. How the hell you mess up my intro? God dang it. What's wrong with y'all, man? You gonna mess up my intro. It's time, man. The wait is over. The dread of what's going to be like is over with. It's time. We are a few hours away. As of right now, Stand and Deliver is on right now. And I'll watch a little bit of that later on. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what's going on in a few hours. WrestleMania 41, live at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, where they got the Raiders playing. And this is, a lot of people say this is a underwhelming card. It hasn't been built up to a lot of people's expectations. Well, to me, I say y'all are some spoiled ass brats carrying on what happened in the last 2 years, especially with The Rock being the final boss. And a lot of people was hoping for a lot of things. You know, everybody was hoping Roman Reigns versus The Rock, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, or other type of things, you know, or Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. But it hasn't been that way. And since it's not that way, and then we got a different direction on how this card is going, a lot of people have been acting like this is an underwhelming card. Well, when it comes to this, watch my video on the last one saying, wow, I would never hate the WWE. The fact that Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and The Rock are running this business, I'm not going to complain about none of this shit. Now, am I going to have some complaints? Yes, but I'm not the person writing the script. I'm not the person that has to figure out certain holes and gaps in the in developments of the storyline, because I don't work for these guys. I can never complain about what's going on when I don't know what's going on from the inside out. I can't. So I will not say that this is an underwhelming card. I will not say that this is this was the least built up WrestleMania. I will not go on any of that, because as a fan from the outside in, from the outside looking in, I'm looking at this shit like ain't no telling what can happen. So I make sure I keep my eyes open for everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for this WrestleMania. Excited on the fact that it's on 420 weekend. 6 years ago, I turned 30, or 7 years ago. I just turned 37 this year on Monday. But 7 years ago, I went to Vegas on my 30th birthday, and it was around 420 weekend. And that's a nice little environment. So it's on WrestleMania 41 is on Easter weekend, 420 weekend. Hey, man, to me, it's an exciting thing. But we're going to get into this card. Now, a lot of people say are underwhelming, least built up, and all this stuff. But if you follow these guys, if you follow what goes on for the most of the time, then you will see that it's not really underwhelming. Y'all just, like I said, expectations were really very highly built, especially after Elimination Chamber, but care less. Anyway, we're about to get into this Saturday card, and that starts off with the singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship between Gunther and Jey Uso. People say that this match was an underwhelming build-up, but I disagree. I feel to disagree, especially if you follow both of these guys. You follow the path of Gunther and how he's been one of the most pushed superstars since he's been on the main roster. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. One of the most dominant champions, whether World Heavyweight Champion or WWE Champion. He is a specimen that is hard to beat. You know, he treats every move important. Like every move means something to him. And his dominance as champion has been one of the best things we can see. You know, we know that he's going to be one of the future standard bearers when it comes to hard-hitting matches. And then you've got Jey Uso, the former tag team specialist who fought his way out the bloodline after being bullied by Roman Reigns, breaking out the main event circle, breaking out of the main roster, or the top tier of the roster on Monday Night Raw, being one of the most overall favorites, winning singles gold as the Intercontinental Champion, beating Braun Breaker last year, but only held it for a month. But we knew that he was going to be much bigger than what was projected as being Intercontinental Champion. His charisma is through the roof. His promo is passionate, and his connection with the people is second to none. So this whole Yeet movement, everything that's been going on with him has propelled him to win the Royal Rumble through our surprise, because I didn't expect him to win the Royal Rumble. And plus, he wasn't even involved in the Royal Rumble. Home down! Dog just want to bark at anything. But when Jey won the Royal Rumble, I didn't expect it, because he wasn't even involved in the Royal Rumble until after Saturday night's main event. He had a world title match against Gunther the week before Royal Rumble, and it was a tough match, a great match between them two prior to the tough couple matches they had for the Intercontinental Championship or to advance in the King of the Ring tournament. The match that they had at Saturday night's main event told the story that Gunther may have underestimated Jey Uso since the last time they fought. And the next time I fight this dude, I'm going to have to bring everything I've got. If you watch that match at Saturday night's main event, you will see the surprised look on Gunther's face after he retains. He steps back like, God damn, I hope I don't have to face him again, because I just might fuck around and lose this one. Then the next week, Jey Uso entered the Royal Rumble at number 20, eliminated John Cena, who everybody kind of projected to win between him or CM Punk, and shocked the world. He decided to go for Gunther one more time, saying that I know I can beat dude. And Gunther has been like, no, you can't beat me. I'm going to make sure that you're going to have a miserable 10 weeks leading up to this WrestleMania, because you know you can't beat me. I know you can't beat me. But Gunther's saying that in his head, because like you said, he had to convince himself that after narrowly getting away at Saturday night's main event. So at first it was all about Jey Uso trying to overcome the doubt that, you know, just because he lost 3 times straight to Gunther, he's not going to lose another time. But you had a couple minor botches that fell into the storyline, make it seem like he's out of his head, or he's in his head. Then it took Jimmy Uso to get involved to have more emotional depth into the story. Jimmy stands up for his brother. He fights Gunther, gets annihilated, and then gets furthermore annihilated after the match, beating him up, busting his head open, wiping Jimmy's blood on Gunther's body, while Jey Uso is zip tied to the ropes, kind of similar to Triple H being handcuffed to the ropes, while Stephanie is getting DDT'd and kissed on by Randy Orton weeks leading up to WrestleMania 25. So you add that emotional depth into it, and I was like, no, you want to see Jey Uso win. And Jey Uso, for the last couple of weeks, he ain't been wearing no Yeet sunglasses, no Yeet t-shirts, no colors, just all black and ready to handle business. He told Gunther, I'm a pray. At this point right now, Jey Uso is in the locker room praying for himself and for Gunther. He told Gunther, he said, you go ahead, take that, tuck your children in if you got some, and say a prayer. Because I'm going to say a prayer for you, but I'm going to also say a prayer for me and ask God to forgive me for what I'm about to do to your ass. So the emotion that Jey Uso added later on, like, we kind of knew that Jey was going to be the man to win it, because this is the best time for him to go over. And with this character, you can see that he's going to be one of the next best ambassadors for his company. So you add all of that into there, the emotional depth, once again, that was added into this match is what makes people say, all right, I got to go with Jey. And even though Gunther has a much more vast move set, from the chops to the stretching submissions, the body splashes, the drop kicks, and, Jey Uso, he has 2-3 moves of doom: super kick, spear, and body splashes, couple of rock spit punches and things like that. But I do believe that it's going to be a simple but yet impactful match. Jey Uso I remember when he was in the Royal Rumble, he did a Poison Rana on Jacob Fatu. And I was surprised. So it's not like Jay can't do it. It's just along the lines of, damn, Jay normally doesn't do this. So I would like to see a little bit more. I'm not looking to see a catch as catch can wrestling match from Jey Uso. I'm not looking to see a technical specimen get ripped apart. I'm not looking to see that type of thing. I'm looking to see a hard-hitting match, a lot of emotion filled, and I'm looking to have a great geek celebration at the end of the match because I believe that Jey Uso will be your new World Heavyweight Champion at the opening match of WrestleMania 41. It has been reported that Jay and Gunther will open up, if I haven't said it before, like minutes ago, that Jay and Gunther will open up WrestleMania today. And that's a good way to set the tone, to get the energy up. Because Jey Uso is an energy check. If you ain't hyped for Jey Uso, I don't know what you ain't hyped for, So I got Uso beating Gunther, becoming your new World Heavyweight Champion. Next match, we got Jade Cargill versus Naomi in the regular singles match. No titles on the line. This is the first women's match on a WrestleMania card to not have a title on the line. If it was a women's match involved, there was tag team titles, women's SmackDown title, women's Raw title, whatever. You get what I'm saying. For these last, since the beginning of WrestleMania, for the most part, it's a women's. If it's women in the match, it's a championship involved. This one is the first WrestleMania match to not have a championship involved. Jade Cargill and Naomi. We get the story behind these two, because it started off with them two as part of the big three with Bianca Belair, when Jade Cargill made her main roster debut, coming from AEW. Jade Cargill, she was always the backup woman to back up Bianca and Jade. Up until War Games time, because it looked like there was going to be Jade, Bianca, Rhea, Io, and I forgot the fifth member. But nonetheless, when Jade got taken out leading up to War Games, they replaced her with Naomi, who didn't mind doing it. And she came and took over the reign. She even was able to replace Jade as the women's tag team champion with Bianca, and they held it for a minute up until last couple weeks, leading into the Elimination Chamber when Liv and Raquel beat Bianca and Naomi. For the moment, Naomi was just basically saying, "I've always held you down, Bianca. It's been about us. Jade, she was the one biting from us. She was biting off our success, riding our coattails and stuff like that." So when it came time to find out, or fast forward to Elimination Chamber, before Bianca qualified to be in the triple threat match, which we'll talk about later on, Jade comes back, beats the shit out of Naomi, takes her out the Elimination Chamber, because she feels in her heart of hearts, like she said, she saw Naomi running away after she got pushed off onto that windshield. But she said she saw her as she ran off. So it's maybe just more than one person. Meanwhile, Bianca, she was distraught about it because it's her two besties fighting each other and stuff like that. So Jade is just real hell-bent on getting her revenge. This will be her WrestleMania singles debut match, and I do think that they're going to make her look good, look great, as they always been doing. They've made Jade Cargill look like a beast since she's been on the main roster, since she's showed up and gotten the ring. From the Royal Rumble of 2024 up to now, we look at her as like, I don't want to stand across in the ring from her. And Naomi been basically playing the coward role because she don't never do anything. She hasn't done anything face to face. Everything that she's done to Jade Cargill has been behind her back. When it's time for Naomi to get the comeuppance, she runs off, runs away, and then she's like, "No, you ain't touching me." And then she comes to do a sneak attack. So that's going to be the whole thing. Naomi is going to lose this match. Oh man, this is going to mess up her heel run. Heels ain't supposed to win every time, man. Not this one, at least. We making Jade Cargill look good. We know how great Naomi is. We know that Naomi is one of the most decorated women in all of WWE. That's why they brought her back from TNA knockouts. Like when she was the knockout women's champion, Triple H and I think Vince was like, "Hey, she did a damn great job. Let's bring her back and see how she can impact this women's division. Especially now we got more black, beautiful women involved in it." So That's what she's been doing. She's been exemplifying her greatness as to show why she is one of the, like, she's one of the first NXT women. If you think about it, Naomi is. So this ain't about Naomi trying to get over on Jade. This is about Jade looking like the baddest woman on the roster. That's what this is about. So I got Jade Cargill winning. Much respect to Trinity Fatu for being the one to say, I'll take the fall for it. Because, hey, somebody got to get beat down in this situation, and it ain't going to be Jade. So I got the Storm over Miss Proceed with Caution. And I like them fits, too. I like the little caution fits that Naomi been wearing. Next up, we got El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio, supposedly. The whole story about this match is that Chad Gable hasn't been able to overcome luchadors, whether it's been Rey Mysterio or Dragon Lee, mainly people in LWO, but now we got Penta involved in the mix. So Chad Gable traveled overseas, mainly somewhere in Mexico, to try to discover how to overcome these luchadors. Some bum give him a box and a mask and say, this is how you overcome luchadors. Be a luchador. So he got a mask, disguised himself as El Grande Americano, and he's been doing these devious things and getting one over on most of the luchadors. I ain't gonna say most of them, all of them, because every time he comes around, well, I ain't gonna say Penta, he ain't got with Penta yet, but you get my point, you get my drift. He's been fucking with the LWO, mainly Rey Mysterio, and now Rey Mysterio said this is a mockery. You are making a mockery of what luchadors are about, the tradition of the mask and shit. So that's what got this match going. I said supposedly because just last night on Friday Night SmackDown, you had a 6-man tag match. And Rey Mysterio seemed like he got injured. Like he had to get carried to the back. I think it was something involving his knee. But it was a match with Rey Fenix, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio. And they're probably checking on his knee right now. Like I said, this happened last night. So I don't know if Rey is going to be able to compete. And if he's not, then I think they're going to involve somebody else. They're going to involve another luchador with a mask. And I think the funny thing is, I think they might stall it. Part of me thinks they'll mess around and be American Made versus the Lucha Brothers. Because El Grande Americano's on Raw. The match happened when Rey Mysterio busted his shit on SmackDown. And Rey Fenix is a SmackDown superstar. So he felt like, he the one that kind of got the win for Rey Mysterio and his team. But I'm almost thinking that they're going to save the singles match for El Grande and Rey Mysterio. They'll save that for whenever Rey is healed. And then they'll just have American-made Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus. They'll replace Americano on his behalf. And like, shit, we'll face any one of your motherfuckers. And then it's going to end up being Rey Fenix and Penta, the Lucha Brothers, debuting at WrestleMania, one night only type shit, because Rey is on SmackDown, Phoenix that is, Rey Fenix, and Penta is on Raw. But we all know what they are when they're together. They're the Lucha Bros, one of the most dynamic luchador tag teams, and not just luchador, one of the best tag teams in the world. We just got to have them separate because we know how great both of them are individually. Now, it is a smart move on the WWE's behalf to show that these guys individually, they can both be great. We don't want to just confine them to tag team wrestling. So either it may be Rey Fenix replacing Rey Mysterio. It might be Penta replacing Rey Mysterio. That's why I was trying to say that. Like I said, this is a Raw match. Cable, Americano, he's on Raw, but this injury happened on SmackDown under Rey Fenix's watch. So, like that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking it may not be El Grande Americano. It might end up just being the Gable, the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius, going against the Lucha Brothers for one night only. I think it may be that. But if I'm wrong, and if we get a replacement from Dragon Lee, which I bet it ain't gonna be, it's going to be either Rey Fenix or Penta to take on El Grande Americano if Rey Mysterio cannot be cleared by tonight. That's my prediction on that. And whoever wins, I honestly think it's going to be El Grande Americano, because that's what the story is, with Chad Gable being this heel that's trying to get one up on these luchadors. He's not going to have his face revealed until like maybe months later. I would say before SummerSlam or something, you know, Clash in Paris maybe. Next up, we got the World Tag Team Championships on the line between the challenging New Day and the champion War Raiders. The War Raiders, unfortunately, haven't been as over as we want them to be since they've reformed their characters from the Viking Raiders with all this face paint and Sarah Logan, aka Valhalla. Since they've been back, they have had some momentum, but unfortunately, they haven't been as over as I want them to be. The War Raiders, when they were in NXT, they had people chanting war, 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 war whenever their music came out. They don't do that. And that's kind of a disappointment because these guys are some brute competitors. Their in-ring abilities, it's all like, you know, especially Ivar. I'm a big fan of Ivar's in-ring ability. His roundhouse kicks, the fact that his leg can go up above his head is amazing to me. And then he does moonsaults like it ain't nothing. I ain't gonna say like it ain't nothing, but he's a big brave bastard. And even I forgot the name that they got, that special move, their tag special. That's one of my favorite double team moves. But they haven't been as over as I would like them to be. New Day, since they broke out of Big E and said, fuck your neck, Stone Cold broke his neck and all this type of stuff. And it's real unfortunate that Big E can't be able to come back and compete. He would rather have a long-lasting life than try to worry about if his neck can heal up on time. It's been 2 years, really 3 years, over 3 years since Big E's been out of contention, been out of competition. And I don't want to rush. I don't want him to rush anything. It's been 3 years. What you mean rush? Really? All right. But nonetheless, man, because that's what a lot of people was thinking. It was going to be a triple threat New Day type match. And unfortunately, it's not, because Big E cares more about his health and his well-being than trying to give the fans what they want. Because what do the fans want? They want the fans want to see a crash site. That's what they want. You know what I'm saying? These men put their bodies on the line. These men put their bodies and lives on the line for us every day. And there's little margin for error when it comes to doing the stuff that Big E did. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not against whatever Big E decides to do. If Etor decides to say, fuck this, I'll just stay as an analyst or an actor doing all these great things for the community and for the company, I'm with it. But nonetheless, the War Raiders aren't that over. The New Day, being the heels that they are, Kofi with no fucking facial hair is hilarious to me. But they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're feeling like they're the catalyst of tag team wrestling. They're the best tag team in the world that hasn't broke up. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So just with that being like the case that they know how to draw and generate more heat, I got the New Day winning and becoming the new tag team champions. 11-time, 12-time tag champions? That's what I got. I got the New Day taking the gold. And I don't know who they're going to beat. I don't know who's going to beat them in the long run. But nonetheless, man, shout out to Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. They still know how to get the crowd to feel some type of way, whether it is happy or upset. Shout out to Kofi and Xavier. They're going to be new World Tag Team Champions. Next up, for the United States Championship, the defending champion LA Knight will be going against the Bloodline's werewolf, Jacob Fatu. LA Knight is definitely one of the hottest superstars still for the last year and a half. You know what I mean? This guy has been on fire since SummerSlam 2023. I was there to notice it when I was at SummerSlam 2023. At the beginning, I was like, what is the deal with y'all? Just like everybody was over on LA Knight. Everybody. So before the doors even open, I'm walking down Brush Street and all I hear, LA Knight. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I don't got to hear this all day. But I felt the Kavorka when they had that Slim Jim Battle Royal and that crowd went crazy. I was like, all right, I'm with it. And I ended up at the end of SummerSlam, I'm walking down the Ford Field talking about they got everybody saying. So I'm with LA Knight, one of the best trash talkers. At 40 plus years old, this man can still have some of the best matches with his agility and his athletic ability. But I can also say the same for 32-year-old Jacob Fatu, the son of the Tonga kid, Rikishi's twin brother. Get off me. Stop trying to bite my hands. Stop trying to bite me, huh? Yeah, put your hood on. No biting. But you can say the same about Jacob Fatu, man. 32 years old and one of the most agile, deceivingly agile people on the roster, man. This dude's fast, quick, and like hella athletic. Hella. And I say hella because this man is from the Yay area, and when he gets on that mic, you can tell. A lot of the Usos, like the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, Solo, Rikishi, a lot of these guys, they come from the Bay Area. Jacob Fatu ain't no different, but you hear it in his voice. You hear it in his promos, man. How he talks is unlike any person, and I'm not just talking about his family members, unlike anybody I've heard. He talks like a nigga, and I love it. The fact that, but I said, fuck it, man. If a moment can grow his hair in the locks, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So Jacob is definitely over. I remember before WrestleMania 40, everybody was talking about Jacob got a debut at WrestleMania, or he got a debut on the Raw after WrestleMania, all this type of stuff. And I'm like, give it a fucking rest. I ain't even seen this nigga yet. What's the big deal about him? But I saw the videos. I was like, okay, all right. I like what he does. If he does show up, I don't know if they're gonna, you know, deflate his character or his moveset, but they didn't. Once he showed up in June, he was a ball of fire, fucking everybody up from Randy, Kevin, Cody, Roman, Braun. He's been doing everything to show y'all that he's the next up. And this is just another one of those steps. LA Knight, he can take this L because his trajectory as a top superstar ain't going nowhere. His trajectory, I can see him winning Money in the Bank this year. He can win Money in the Bank this year, especially with the stuff that's going down in the near future with the WWE Championship. I can see LA Knight becoming the next Money in the Bank winner. Think about that. LA Knight, Mr. Money in the Bank. And who's the champion that he's going to cash in on? So I got that. But Jacob Fatu will defeat LA Knight tonight and become your new United States champion. So that's two Usos that'll be leaving with championship gold. We got Mr. Yeet and Mr. Yaramin, both from the Yay area. They all start with Y. You hear me? So yeah, I got Jacob becoming the new United States champion. Next match, we've got the women's championship match between Charlotte Flair, 14-time women's champion and the current Royal Rumble winner, versus Tiffany Stratton, your women's champion via Money in the Bank. Tiffany Stratton, we've seen her career from NXT sprout out from obscurity to being one of the top girls on the NXT roster. And she's definitely proved that she is a top prospect in regards to this women's division. She proved it. But before she won the Money in the Bank, she was NXT Women's Champion on the main roster fighting with Becky Lynch. That goes to show you how much they was giving her the torch. So, down! Quit barking at these people. They ain't hearing you. Little boy, something else. But this is the dream match that everybody was waiting for. Once you saw Tiffany, you saw Charlotte Flair. You saw the arrogance. You saw the athleticism. And you saw the aura that she has to possibly be one of the next women's prodigies. Like we saw with Charlotte when she was in NXT. And lo and behold, we got this match happening. But the only thing that's been about it, the only thing about it is lacking emotion. It's lacking, it was lacking attention. Like when Charlotte won, we kind of knew what it was going to be. We knew it was going to be Tiffany versus Charlotte. And then after Elimination Chamber, after Charlotte let Tiffany handle her business with Nia Jackson, Candice LeRae, it went straight to just personal shit. You know, you're a queen, like, you know, I'm the queen. They either wooing or booing. They coming to see me. They ain't coming to see you. I'm the #1 Nepo baby, Nepo queen, this type of stuff. You ain't fit for this. You know, all this type of stuff. You're a little girl trying to feel a woman's boots type shit. You can get that from Charlotte Flair. Like she is basically bullying her way into trying to say that you ain't worth it. Tiffany has been showing us that she still has a little bit more rookie in her. You know what I mean? She still has a little bit of green that she has to work out on. But that comes with experience. Let her get this experience. Let her gain the experience by going against one of the best women in this business. And I think it's going to be how would we say it? Baptism by fire. That's what this match is definitely going to be. It's going to be a baptism by fire because you know the crowd is going to be pro Tiffany and anti Charlotte. Just because Charlotte, like, bitch, you won enough. I'm just like, when it comes to Charlotte, I'm like, oh, red with calico. Bitch, you've done enough. So Charlotte doesn't need to win this. We know how worthy she is. As of right now, I'm not going to be on no please retire stuff, but you see that the dissension of the four horsewomen is imminent, very imminent. Becky Lynch, she's been out for almost a year, and just off the fact that she's trying to be more of a mother to her daughter Rue. Seth can be the traveling pops. I got to stay home and take care of my baby. So she's the first mother out the bunch, making sure that she's going to be the best mother out the bunch. Mercedes, she's felt like she's achieved all that she can in the WWE for now. So she's at AEW doing side missions and making sure everybody know that I'm the baddest horsewoman out of everybody, because ain't nobody else went outside their comfort zone and done other things other than be one of Vince's girls. You feel me? And then you got Bayley, who's been the standard bearer, been the measuring stick of the women's roster. You want to test your will and test your might, you got to go through the true hugger and role model of this business. And then you've also got Charlotte, who said that I still got more left in the tank, and these women can't hold a candle to what I do in the ring. So, but you see, but it's tough to say that because she lost to Rhea Ripley. I'm waiting for her to go against Charlotte. I mean, her to go against Bianca Belair in one-on-one competition. I was like, no, chill out. Trying to hop on and everything. I've been wanting to see Bianca versus Charlotte, but that hasn't happened yet, because she's faced Becky. She faced not Bayley, but she faced Sasha and Becky in the biggest stages and stole the show with those women. And I felt like she could do that with all four of them. But we have yet to see Bianca versus Charlotte. And but we know that Bianca, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, couple of other women that's along the ranks that's post horsewomen, that they're the anchors of this company now. The horsewomen, they're the foundation, but right now Bianca, Io, and Rhea, they're the pillars of the women's division. They're the ones that we're looking up after, like we got to go after them. Even though the four horsewomen is the standard bearers, you can't take that away from them. But as of right now, the four horsewomen time is up. See what I got to deal with? Nonetheless, Tiffany Stratton will retain her women's championship against Charlotte Flair. Charlotte doesn't need to win. No biting. Quit biting my finger. No. Gone. Spoiled brat. His birthday's tomorrow, and he's going to be 1. So, yeah, you see how young he is, but I'm not playing that youthful junk with him. I've been playing with big dogs that's little babies like him, and I ain't got no time for them. I ain't going to treat them like them, but you ain't going to be no baby around me, boy. Right the cold out your eyes, though. Ooh, you're real crusty over here. All right, and the last match, the triple threat match for night 1's main event. CM Punk with Paul Heyman by his side versus Roman Reigns with no wise man versus Seth freaking Rollins. It's been a great storyline between these three men. Roman Reigns, no! Quit jumping at my finger trying to bite it. You're messing up my show. Matter of fact, he's a fun kid, but he's distracting me, man. Anyway, I say this has been a great build-up between these three men because ever since CM Punk came back, he's had the crowd in the palm of his hands. And that upset Seth Rollins because, nigga, I've built all of this and done all of this while you was gone. You've been talking shit about us, and now you come back and everybody loves you all over again. I'm not one of those guys. Fuck you. You betrayed us, and more than likely, you betrayed me. Think about this. You go on the WWE Vault channel, or for those who has the documentary DVD of the CM Punk Best in the World documentary, if you got that, then go to the extras. It's an interview talking about CM Punk's wrestling school that he had while he was in Ring of Honor. And one of his first students being a young Kobe Lopez, who was then known as Tyler Black, who wanted to learn under CM Punk because he looked up to him. But unfortunately, he didn't have enough money to stay in the wrestling school, so he only had a couple of lessons until he had to go. But Tyler Black became one of the most decorated athletes, and that Tyler Black ended up becoming Seth Rollins, and we know who Seth Rollins is, the best workhorse since 2012. Is it 2012? What the hell? I said that twice, but you get it. Since 2012, Seth Rollins has been the consummate workhorse of this company and has been doing it for a while. With the Shield, without the Shield, all of this. This man has been busting his ass to prove that he is the best performer, the best wrestler, the best whatever. He's been proving that he's one of the better out of everybody. Roman Reigns. Is he the workhorse of the WWE? No, he is the face of the WWE. It has been the face of the WWE since 2014. After John Cena could no longer hold the reins and we knew that his time was up, they put that title and put Roman Reigns on the pedestal and shot him up through the roof. Unfortunately, from 2014 up to 2020, the fans, the WWE Universe, wasn't having it because we felt that he wasn't ready. We felt that he was being forced down our throats. We felt that he was a Vince McMahon product. So for 4, 5, 6 years, Roman has been the man, but it was not by the people's choice. But since he became the tribal chief, had Paul Heyman by his side, made the bloodline, this man has become the man that you can't deny and say that he's not the man. Roman Reigns is definitely one of the best, not just performers, one of the best entertainers to come across this spectrum of this business. We've seen his chops as the tribal chief on that mic. We know that he can talk the talk. We know that he can walk the walk. And we definitely know that when he walks into a room, the intention is on him. And he's been, since he's been the tribal chief, his status at number one has barely faltered. Barely. It hasn't wavered. So you got three men that feel like they are the best at what they do. But they don't have no gold around their waist. So the only way to feel that you're number one is you take out whoever's in your way. CM Punk, he's in the sentiment of, my goal is to finish what I started. And he said this before he got injured, before he tore his pec, before Drew McIntyre tore his pec. He said, my main goal is to main event WrestleMania. That's what I came back for. Seth Rollins says, no, you're not main eventing WrestleMania. Not on my watch because you don't deserve it. You can't leave this company, talk shit about us, and then come back and think that you're going to just waltz your way into a main event of WrestleMania or even earn your way into a WrestleMania. I'll fuck you up before that happens. And he was going to be content with Punk winning the Royal Rumble and while he was world champion, he's going to snuff him out. But that didn't happen. Torn pec, Drew McIntyre comes in. They have the feud of the year in 2024 from the special referee match that Seth was involved in, the strap match, the Hell in a Cell, War Games, when Roman Reigns got assistance from CM Punk due to Paul Heyman's advisement. This has been what it's been. CM Punk has been proving his way to be like, I'm proving that I'm a main eventer. I'm proving that I'm going to be here. I'm not fragile like how y'all been saying I am. But Seth is like, fuck that. And then on top of that, Roman, you going to shake hands with the man that's been talking shit about us this whole time? Because Fuck the fact that that's your wise, like, the wise man's words. No, fuck that. And damn the fact that it was a favor. This dude talks shit about us as a unit, as the Shield. CM Punk says that he made the Shield. He ain't make shit. And even Roman Reigns said that not too long ago when Roman Reigns was the big dog. I've heard those type of interviews where when they come up and ask them, what about people that say CM Punk made the Shield? And Roman dismissed those quotes and those claims like, no, he ain't make shit. He brought us in, but he ain't make shit. So the underlying hatred between Roman and Punk, but the love that they both have or had for Paul Heyman is what kept that together. But Seth's like, you could have destroyed him at the War Games and that'd be done with. But no, I got to be the one to save your ass and his ass. I got to save this company because both y'all ain't shit. Roman, since you've been undisputed tribal chief, WWE Universal Champion, you turned into Brock Lesnar. You think you can come and go as you please, and when you come back, people's just going to cater to your needs. No, you got to still sacrifice every day. Do moves that you can't do. Go on, do dates that you didn't want to do because that's what we do as WWE superstars. We show up, become ambassadors of this company, and do it week in, week out. I already said what I said about Punk. Fuck him. You can't just come in here and talk. You can't leave, talk shit, and then come back and think the world's gonna be handed to you. Fuck that. You ain't gonna get shit handed to you, but a boot in the back of your head. So Seth is feeling like, none of these dudes is worthy to be the number one guy because y'all represent what's wrong with this company. If you got fans that love CM Punk, then that means they can just come in, do what they want, leave, talk shit about the people that made them, and then come back and then get another pat on the back. No. If you got guys like Roman Reigns who feels entitled after they've done so much things and can come and go as they please, this company ain't gonna go nowhere. But if you got workhorses like me that keep coming in, keep busting their ass throughout all injuries, throughout all turmoil, throughout all backstage bullshit, if you got guys like me, this company's gonna thrive. Now, it sounds great, but to me, it sounds like Seth Rollins is bitching. Roman's had his wise man's help. CM Punk has had the fans' love. Seth Rollins, he's got the fans' love, but when you hear those drums, dum dum dum, or when you hear that TV sound, that crowd pops a little bit harder. Now people will be singing Seth Rollins' song, but them CM Punk chants are loud. Them OTC chants are loud. And I think Seth can't quiet those sounds. Now I don't know how this is going to happen. I got CM Punk winning, but I think that Seth Rollins is going to pull a fast one on us. He talked about him winning being best for business. John Cena said the same thing at Elimination Chamber. And then he did what he did to Cody Rhodes. I got him joining Travis Scott, John Cena, and the final boss by the time this is over with. Because you sounded like a bitch, Seth Rollins. You complaining about what you deserve. You sound entitled. For you to be the workhorse, you ain't supposed to be complaining, but you complaining. So, because the biggest reason he's complaining is because he feels like, he created the monster of Seth. He created the monster of Roman Reigns. And then on top of that, he felt like, he was responsible for, he had to sacrifice, talk about sacrifice. Seth Rollins sacrificed his whole body. He sacrificed his leg, his right knee for Cody Rhodes to get to the top, which he feels like was the right thing to do. So all that sacrifice and people still want to cheer for these bitches. All right, I guess I can't win with y'all fans. I'm going over to the other side. I thought he went to the other side after, I didn't even talk about the Royal Rumble and War Games, I didn't talk about how CM Punk and Roman had to reluctantly team up because of Paul Heyman and how Seth was upset at that. I didn't talk about how Roman and Seth was fighting each other in that Royal Rumble and CM Punk said, fuck both of y'all. I made y'all. I'll take both of y'all out. And then that's when Seth got crazy, curb stomped. Roman Reigns on the steel steps, took him out all the way up until maybe a month or two later when Seth and Punk have their cage match and Roman said, fuck that. And helped Seth win, but then beat the shit out of him. And then that's where everything fell into place because after he beat up after he beat up Seth and Punk, Roman sees Paul Heyman in the cage and like, nigga, what you doing with him? I'll beat his ass up too. Give a fuck about them being your best friend. But not acknowledging the fact that CM Punk had a favor owed to him since CM Punk did the favor of helping Roman Reigns and the Bloodline out at War Games, which the favor was, that man ain't gonna be your wise man at WrestleMania. He's gonna be my best friend on my side. Because it's another thing. I saw a video on Wrestling Flashback talking about the relationship of Paul and Punk. Back in 2013, right before Paul Heyman turned on CM Punk, when he was about to get the angle and Punk, we got the angle between Punk and Lesnar, Paul Heyman said, I will be standing by your side when you finally main event WrestleMania, because that's our dream. Paul Heyman has been the biggest advocate for CM Punk since 2005. He felt like this dude was going to be the next star, not only in his ECW brand when he was making it, but overall, this dude is the next superstar. He is the guy. He knows the ins and outs. He got everything. He knows the right way to carry this business. But he didn't look like a Roman Reigns. And he didn't act like, and as far as tattoos, he didn't look like that either. He didn't look like a Seth Rollins. He was, you know what I'm saying? Straight edge, punk rock, messy hair, a whole bunch of tattoos. And he didn't have the moveset or the look to be like, that's the guy. But Paul Heyman stood for him, fought for him, got fired for him, or quit, depending on how you look at it. But because of Punk's word saying that he's a Paul Heyman guy, Paul Heyman came right back in, and then sooner or later got to work with Punk once again when he was the champion for 434 days. Sounds similar, right? Roman Reigns being the undisputed Universal Champion for 1,316 days under the advisement of the wise man. So it's a lot of things that come into these intangibles, but I got CM Punk winning, but I also got Seth Rollins snapping and turning over to the dark side and joining the final boss. And now, so there's the night one for WrestleMania Saturday, which will be happening, I believe, like starting 6 o'clock, 6:30 or something. Those are 7th matches for that night. And then tomorrow, 420. I hope some weed gets dropped in my lap or something, but I doubt it. WrestleMania night 2, WrestleMania Sunday. That night will be starting off with the Women's World Championship match, triple threat between Bianca Belair, Io Sky, our champion, and Rhea Ripley. This is a cool build-up to me because it almost seemed like a foregone conclusion that we might see Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley since since the Raw on Netflix when Rhea won back the championship from Liv. And then but I like the story that came along, you know. Well, it was like Io Sky was trying to qualify for the Elimination Chamber, but Rhea's interference cost Io Sky opportunity. So Rhea gave the favor back. She said, I didn't want that to happen to you, so I got you. After the Elimination Chamber, me and you going to go at it for the Women's Championship. Forgetting the fact that anytime that Io and Rhea Ripley went against each other, Io won. Trace back to NXT days. In Your House, NXT 2020. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Io Sky versus Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship at In Your House. I still got that. Io won that match. She became the new women's champion, beating Charlotte Flair. So you can go back to that. But Rhea did a favor. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I hated that, you know, that you didn't qualify. So I'm going to make sure you get a chance to fight for my championship after the Elimination Chamber. Bianca Belair wins the Elimination Chamber after being distraught by Jade Cargill destroying Naomi. She fought through it all. And she was ready to go at Rhea Ripley. But Io said, hold up. You got to go through me first, Rhea. So they had their match on the night after Elimination Chamber. Bianca Belair goes out ringside watching the match. It's a moment in the match where Io is out the ring and she's about to get counted out. Bianca starts to cheer for, trying to encourage Io to go in the ring, trying to help her. Not help her physically, but, you know, just pump her up. Rhea Ripley gets emotionally is distracted by that. Like, why you cheering her? Why you cheering her? What, you don't want to meet me? And Bianca like, bitch, fuck what you talking about? Better just handle your business. But Rhea kept her eyes off the ball, going for a super riptide, looking at Bianca, and Io counters that, goes for her moonsault, and then bam! Io Sky is your new Women's World Champion and still undefeated against Rhea Ripley. So it would seem it would be Bianca versus Io, but we've seen that already. We've seen that at Backlash 2023. And it was a cool match. But as far as WrestleMania worthy, So Rhea Ripley, she's upset about that, complaining of Bianca like, you shouldn't have got yourself involved. Bianca like, why you mad? They start to have the contract signing. Rhea said, fuck that. Yeah, you need to handle your little business while your besties is over there fighting over you. You over here trying to get yourself involved in business, but fuck it. Fuck that shit. I still belong in the women's championship match. She signs the contract that didn't even involve her. Adam Pearce rejected that signature. Said, bitch, you could have just went for your contract rematch, the rematch clause of your contract. You should have just did that instead of trying to insert yourself into this WrestleMania match. But they do that. Bianca Belair is the referee. Io and Rhea have their match. It turns into a double DQ because Bianca kept getting beat by both. Like, she kept getting slapped or punched by Io or pushed by Io or Rhea. So she said, fuck that. Both of y'all. Ain't none of y'all winning this bitch. And then the story with Io. She's the smaller one. She's the small one out the bunch. So she's the champion, but she feels overlooked because the dream match was Bianca and Rhea. Everybody wanted to see this. You know, like I said, between the 4 horsewomen, you got after the 4 horsewomen, then you got the pillars: Bianca, Io, and Rhea. Rhea, she's the small one, but she's one of the most decorated athletes in the business. But the fact that she's a small chick, Bianca and Rhea are overlooking her. Like, bitch, we ain't worried about you. But Io's like, put some respect on my fucking name. Y'all fighting for my belt. Y'all the ones coming after my shit. You ain't just gonna be mushing me over to the side, acting like I don't matter. So every time that Bianca and Rhea try to get involved with one another, every time that Bianca and Rhea try to get involved with one another, Io has to come in and prove her point, like, bitch, I'm the champ. So it's been like that every single week. Even last night on SmackDown, when Naomi and Jade's story intertwined with their story, Io is still looking like, y'all bitches fighting over each other. Like, now Jade and Naomi, I can get, I get that. But y'all still overlooking me? She just jumped off the top turnbuckle off the ring and jumped on everybody. Like, I'm the champ. So, plain and simple, Io Sky will retain the Women's World Championship. Because plain and simple, another part of this, Bianca is from SmackDown. She's going to Raw to face a champion. And even then, she said that I read the notes. Shout out to John Canton, TJRWrestling.net. There was a note in there where Bianca said, I'm on SmackDown, but after this, I ain't gonna be on here for a minute because I'm gonna be the Women's World Champion, which is a Raw Championship. No, that's not happening. So I got Io winning. Rhea, she's gonna continue going for that chase. But Bianca, she's gonna have a lot to worry about. And that's why I believe she's gonna turn heel and reveal that she was part of taking out Jade Cargill with Naomi. Because the storyline within that, like I said, when they had a promo where Jade, Naomi, and Rhea, Bianca, and Io's, they kind of intertwined. They had a 2-on-1 segment. And Bianca, well, I think she was in the ring first or something like that. I don't know. But Naomi came out like, I've been trying to call you. You ain't meet. Like, we in the same building in SmackDown. You ain't came and talked to me, none of this shit. And Bianca like, I'm trying to handle this private. Why are you bringing this out publicly? You know what I'm saying? And Jade kind of on the same shit. Like, bitch, why are you sticking up for her? All this type of shit like that. So Bianca is getting a conundrum. She's in a conundrum after WrestleMania. So she's not winning the Women's World Championship and going on the Raw thinking that everything is all hunky-dory. Bottom line. Next match, we've got Women's Tag Team Championship match. Lyra Valkyria our women's Intercontinental Champion, and her partner, the hugger, the role model, Bayley, will be going against Judgment Day's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the tag team champions, women's tag team champions. I believe 4-time women's tag team champions. As Liv likes to say, the greatest women's tag team champions of all time, and it's hard to dispute that. Plain and simple, I got Liv and Raquel retaining. Bayley and Lyra, they look cool, but I don't see no connection between them two. It's just looking real nice and shit. It was really sped up as far as like who was going to be the contenders. As far as I'm concerned, when the gauntlet match happened, I was not highly upset, but I was quite upset that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, aka Abby the Witch, weren't one of the contenders. But since the Wyatt Six have been on SmackDown, they haven't been shown on TV since. I don't know if it's because of creative input or just delaying things. That's why I don't complain. Because sometimes they don't have to be involved all the time. They don't have to be on TV all the time. You know, people gonna complain about why they should be on TV and stuff like that, but at least they ain't getting released. Give these guys some time to make a story that makes sense. And part of me thinks that they may be involved right after Bianca and Jade and Naomi. Because Bianca, she's going to have to choose. And when she chooses Naomi, I think we're going to see that little, that buzzard in that circle cross sign. Because, bitch, you turned on your partner. You turned on your friend for clout. And at that point, it's going to be time to run. But that's later on down the line. I may be projecting, I may be predicting, but nonetheless, I got Liv and Raquel retaining their titles. I didn't even really talk about that match, but Bayley and Lyra, it's all cool, but they just came together based off of a gauntlet match and what the connectivity that they had. They was going against each other for the IC title the Raw before, and then they teaming up the next night. Yeah, I got Bayley and Lyra losing. You know, just that on that. Next up, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Plain and simple, this is just another way to keep Logan Paul relevant and showing us that he can get in the ring with any of the top competitors in that in this roster. He's been exemplifying that since WrestleMania 38, going against the Mysterios with The Miz, going against Seth Rollins at 39, having a triple threat match defending his United States Championship against Logan Paul and the legend Randy Orton. Tomorrow he's going against the phenomenal one of the most decorated guys in the ring, and you can kind of compare him to AJ in a sense because I think that Logan is a trusted guy in that ring. He's going to do safe shit, but he's going to do some big shit too. And for the last couple of weeks, it's all been about Logan Paul getting the upper hand on AJ Styles. That pulverizer, that is one of the most decorated DDTs I have seen in years. It's like it's a backdrop, and then he turns around and turns it into like a high-angle DDT. I'm highly impressed by that move. I don't think that he can do it on everybody, but I love that he can do it. But he's been doing that a whole lot more than AJ's been able to connect the phenomenal forearm. So I got AJ Styles winning this match between him and Logan Paul. Of course, Logan's going to do some of his best moves. Shit, maybe fuck around and bring that drone back and do another body splash off the announce table, but the announce tables don't break though. But we'll see. But I got AJ beating Logan Paul because Logan Paul's been getting the upper hand for the last few weeks during this rivalry, even with adding fuckboy Andrew Schultz in. So I got the phenomenal one beating the Maverick. Next match, Sin City Street Fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I'm looking forward to this match because this is damn near a year and a half in the making. Drew and Damian has had underlying beef ever since Damian has been part of the Judgment Day. And Drew joined the Judgment Day War Games team back in November 2023. I keep saying 2023. I said 2022. Oh, I'd be saying 2020 like 3 times. I don't know. But when Damian proclaimed himself as the leader of that War Games team, Drew has always felt some type of way about it, especially since he had the Money in the Bank briefcase at the time, undisputed tag team champion with Finn Balor. We knew that Damian was going to be that dude way on down the line. But I knew when that was happening between them two, I knew that it was going to be some shit in the game at WrestleMania 40, especially after Punk got injured. I was one of the main ones that was screaming, okay, now that this is underway, Drew's going to face Seth Rollins for the championship. Damien's going to wait until he wins the bitch, and he's going to cash in on Drew right afterwards. I was saying that for months on end since Survivor Series 2023. And then it happened. So the story of this whole thing has been Damien has been one of the main guys to capitalize off of Drew McIntyre's misfortunes. Even though CM Punk has been the main one that's been causing them, Damian Priest has been the one that's been benefiting from them. Cashed in on Drew McIntyre after Punk beat his ass, became the new World Heavyweight Champion. Clash at the Castle. He was the champion. Seth, referee gets wiped out. CM Punk comes in, plays as referee, kicks Drew in the balls, and Drew and Dame ends up winning. Money in the Bank. Drew wins the Money in the Bank contract, cashes it on the same night while Seth Rollins is facing Damien for the championship. CM Punk says, fuck you. You took me out in my home city, made me look like a bloody mess, so I'm beating the shit out of you and beating your ass and let Damien finish up and pick up the scraps. Seth Rollins is pissed off about that as well. So while Drew was steady going at CM Punk, Damian Priest was the one that was benefiting from all of this up until SummerSlam when Gunther beat him for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then they went their separate ways for the most part. Damian went to focus on Finn Balor while Drew was still hell-bent on CM Punk. But now that that's been over with, Drew moved to SmackDown, Damian moved to SmackDown. And they both, and now it's like, nigga, you think I forgot that you was right there, to pick it up from my, matter of fact, it's not even that. Anytime that Drew McIntyre kept bitching, Damian been like, nigga, all you do is talk shit. And then when it came to shit like the Royal Rumble, Damian eliminates Drew from the Royal Rumble. Damian eliminates Drew McIntyre at the Elimination Chamber. Damian was always the one to humble Drew McIntyre since they've been on the SmackDown roster. So Drew was like, I know it ain't like, okay, I gotta get on him now because nigga, you keeping me from getting where I need to go. And then now I remember you've been the one that's been benefiting from my misery. So now I gotta beat the shit out of you because you get my point. So these guys have been fighting back and forth on-site type battles for weeks on end, fighting backstage, fighting in the crowd, fighting through the entrance ramp, all these type of things. Drew got chokeslammed on the fucking windshield, ended up having to wear an eye patch for a week, but then he beat the shit out of Damian with the steel steps. This WrestleMania weekend, the kickoff show, them niggas is about to go off on each other. What Drew talking shit, Damian comes out of nowhere, starts beating his ass. WWE World at these conventions. Damian looking for this nigga and Drew running off. So this is going to be a good fight. A lot of people say they ain't looking forward to this match, but I am. I've been a fan of Damian Priest for years. Feeling like he's going to be one of the best big guys in this business. And he's been having a lot of momentum. Not as much, I ain't gonna say a lot, but he's been having some good momentum as a good guy. I don't think he's stale at all. I do think he's just got to have a little bit more of emotional depth, some of it, just a little bit. But this match, I think is like, we know how brutal Drew McIntyre can be. We've seen the strap match. We've seen the Hell in a Cell match. Damian Priest, he's been in some street fights too, but he was kind of helping put people over. Shout out to Bad Bunny and all. But this is an equal type of match between Damian and Drew. But I think that Damian is going to go over because, but the fact is it's a street fight. So Drew might end up being the one getting put over. Drew might win this one just because I can do everything I can to you and ain't nothing you can bitch and complain about, me stopping it or nothing. But at the same time, Damian can do the same thing. So it's a toss-up, but I got the Archer of Infamy beating Drew McIntyre in the Steel City, in this Sin City street fight. And then when you think about it, where they gonna fight? I've heard that the WrestleMania stage, if y'all saw the WrestleMania 41 stage, it's amazing. they got a little building, and they say in those, like with windows on it. And in those windows say there's seats in that building. They built the set inside the set where you can sit in that fucking stage. So are they gonna mess around and fight in there? I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. But I got Damian Priest over Drew McIntyre. If Drew wins, I can't even get mad at it because it's a street fight, no disqualifications, no countouts. Everything goes. It ain't no telling where they're gonna be at fighting. I hope they fight outside the ring and not just type shit. I just want it to be a street fight, a WrestleMania street fight, on site type with these guys. And next match, fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Our champion Braun Breaker versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus Penta. This is a good match, and it's definitely putting all four guys in a great light. Braun Breaker making his WrestleMania debut as champion. Impressive. Penta making his WrestleMania debut after only 2 months in this business. Some guys, like Vince McMahon, I think about stuff like this. If you ain't been in the wrestling, if you ain't been in the WWE for at least a year, then Vince ain't gonna put you on that WrestleMania card unless he feel like he desperately needs to, or you've been on a different level or some type of shit. Unless if you ain't been long tenured or you just now if you just now getting here, you ain't gonna be on the WrestleMania card like that just because people fuck with you. Penta, I ain't gonna say is the exception because this is the Triple H, this is the Paul Levesque era. So we know how. Matter of fact, yeah, it ain't gonna be Penta. Now that I just said that, Penta ain't gonna be the replacement for Rey Mysterio. It's gonna be Rey Fenix, in my opinion. So there you go with that, with the Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano match. Rey Fenix is gonna be his replacement, not Penta. Because he's involved in trying to get a belt of his own. But yeah, as far as Penta debuting at WrestleMania after 2 or 3 months on the main roster, shows you that this game is changing and how over that, it ain't been a lot of luchadors that get as much love as Penta does. And the fact that we can depend on new guys like Penta and Rey Fenix, we ain't gotta look at Rey Mysterio to be like, hey man, we need you to be our resident luchador for WrestleMania to get these people over on the Latin side. We ain't gotta do that no more. Penta and Rey Fenix are going to be the standard bearers of luchador wrestling. And Penta, I'm looking forward to seeing him steal the show. But I don't think he's going to win the title. Finn Balor. Finn Balor has been, man, one of the best workers in this company, man. Good, bad, and different. Whether it's the Demon, whether he's whatever he is, the Judgment Day's leader. However, he's one of our best workers that we've got at his age. Still looks ripped. Zero body fat on the ass type shit as opposed to me. But this man is one of the best workers in the game, and he is long overdue, not for a win, but for a push. I do see that he should get, he'll be one of the first guys to challenge Jey Uso for the world championship type shit. I see that. But then people are going to be mad because Finn Balor, if he loses, is going to drop his push. Shut the fuck up. At least he got a world title match. The last world title match he had was at SummerSlam 2023. I was there for that. So I see Finn Balor going somewhere further after this. This is going to be the end of the Judgment Day. Speaking of Dominic Mysterio, I think this is going to be his night. I believe that Dom is 0-3 at WrestleMania. Because he lost to him and Ray lost to Logan and Paul and The Miz at WrestleMania 38. He lost to his dad at WrestleMania 39. He lost to his dad and Andrade at WrestleMania 40. This is the night where Dominic Mysterio gets coronated as a singles champion because he's been playing his role very well, and he's vastly improved from what we seen him 3 years ago. People they'll still boo him when he does a 619, but at this point in his career, he's doing it clean. His fraud splashes, his in-ring ability, his cowardice, heel tactics have been getting better and better by the week. And we acknowledge that. We boo him every time he talks, but when he does his thing for the most time, sometimes you hear the crowd chant Dirty Dom because, hey man, We don't see your dad anymore in you. And even though you're imitating Eddie Guerrero, we can understand that because of, the whole storyline of Eddie Guerrero may be your daddy. You know what I'm saying? But he's playing into his role very well as the Latino cheat, Dirty Dom. And we admire that. We see that the future is going to be bright with this guy. So I got my eyes mainly on him becoming the new Intercontinental Champion because he deserves it. He deserves it. He hasn't won a singles championship since going to NXT for a hot second and winning the North American title from Dragon Lee. So, was it Dragon Lee or was it something? No, it was Trick. It was Trick. My fault. I think it was Trick Williams. But nonetheless, I got Dom Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship and further coordinated him as one of the baddest heels in this company. Good, bad, or indifferent, Dom deserves it. So, that's like going to be what, the third father and son duo to capture Intercontinental Championship. You got Mr. Perfect and his son, Curtis Axel. You got Rikishi and his son, Jey Uso. Now you're going to have Rey Mysterio and Dom Mysterio. And the crazy thing about it is, Rey Mysterio won his first Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 25 against JBL. So that'll be very poetic for Dominic to win his first Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Braun Breaker, if he retains it, I'm not going to be mad because him as the champion has just been cold. He made that belt look good, especially since when after Jay won it and they turned those glows from black to blue, gave it more color, gave it much more meaning, and it was like, all right, Braun Breaker made it look better. So Braun retaining is not far-fetched, but we see him winning championships way further down the line, not just IC championship. He's a world champion material. I see him in the Money in the Bank ladder match this year as well. So if not Braun Breaker retaining, I've got Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship. Next match, Randy Orton has issued an open challenge officially on Friday. So we don't have a clear idea on who his opponent is going to be. We got a couple of them, but I can bet you this, it won't be Aleister Black. There was a vignette saying 4/25/25. That's this Friday. And it was but that smoke shit, at first it had 4 and then there's other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So more than likely Aleister Black will be coming back this Friday on SmackDown. So Solo Sikoa maybe, Rusev, because we've heard that he signed back with the WWE, thank goodness, but can't be too sure about him just bursting out the scene, because then what is he going to do after Randy Orton? You know what I'm saying? Just going to have him standing there looking around for who to have a storyline angle with? We don't know. But then there's the Nick Aldis thing. You know, Nick Aldis said he wants to have one more match. We still physically have like another run left in him. And I haven't seen too much of Nick Aldis's matches, but I would love to see what he can do in a WrestleMania ring. If you don't, then I'm not tripping. But it's going to be interesting to see who will step out on that stage to face the Legend Killer, who was supposed to face Kevin Owens, which had a great story built up behind it. But unfortunately, Kevin Owens has to tend to his health and go for neck surgery. And I'm glad that he decided to take care of that before this match happened, because who knows what would have happened to him if him and Randy still had that match, and it would have been a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? You think about Edge and him opening up WrestleMania 27 with Alberto Del Rio for the World Championship. And it wasn't the longest match, but they made sure that, you know, he didn't go through too much pain. Because I remember seeing the footage of Edge doing a spear, and like he put his head down when he did it, and when he got back up, he was holding his neck more than anything, like fuck. So that's when you knew that it was going to be tougher for him to try to even remain in the business. So we don't want the same thing to happen for Kevin Owens. He was at the Hall of Fame. You know, I saw him at the Hall of Fame there. I don't know if his surgery was before or afterwards, because, you know, niggas have neck braces and stuff like that. But wishing the best for Kevin Owens, man. Wishing the best for him and hoping that he can remain healthy for the rest of his career or the rest of his life. If this was the last that we get to see of Kevin Owens in the WWE ring, then man, much love to you. Thank you for giving us everything that you have gave since 2014 and 2015 when you came to NXT, being one of the most ruthless bastards, one of the best talkers, and one of the most passionate performers I've ever seen in this company. Good, bad, or indifferent, I appreciate what Kevin Owens brings to the table. So once again, speedy recovery to Kevin Owens and wishing all the best for him. But I'm looking forward to seeing who Randy Orton is going to be facing on night 2 as an open challenge. And then the main event for night 2, for the undisputed WWE Championship, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, goes against Mr. Big Match John Cena, attempting to capture his 17th World Championship in the WWE. The storyline about this has been since Money in the Bank 2024, when he came out in Toronto that night, declared his retirement. But he said, I'm going to have me a year-long farewell tour. So anybody that wants to come out by January when I come out here, if you want some, come on, because this is it. This is the last time for you to face me. So he came out in the Royal Rumble. So he came out at Raw on Netflix, said I'm into the Royal Rumble and I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. But unfortunately, yeet happened. So immediately after, at the Royal Rumble press conference, he announced that he will be in the Elimination Chamber, not qualifying for it, because he said that his 23 years of dedication and service, he feels like he don't have to qualify. I'm in it. And he's going to win it because it's what's best for business. So while Punk, McIntyre, Logan, Priest, and Rollins, they qualified, Cena, he made his way in there, no qualifications, and cleared it out. He beat the odds, beat CM Punk ultimately by taking advantage of what Seth Rollins did to him, and he won his shot. While Jey Uso made his challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, we already knew it was going to be Cody Rhodes that he was going to face. So he wins the Elimination Chamber. Cody Rhodes was going on with the conundrum of The Rock wanting to be his brother, but, you know, Rock wanted his soul and shit. And Cody said, no, you can't have my soul. My soul belongs to the people in this ring. So fuck you, Rock. Cena acting like he was cool with it until The Rock said, low blow, beat the shit out of him, joins Travis Scott and joins The Rock. And now he sided with the bad guys, decides to become heel. And the whole thing about it is he came back after that, and his justification on turning heel was like, y'all some takers. Fans, y'all don't know what you want. Y'all been treating me like shit for the past 23 years. Y'all didn't want me to be the top guy. Even after I won so much and everything, y'all couldn't stay. Y'all couldn't take it. So fuck y'all, all of y'all. If y'all don't like me, blow me. Y'all kept fucking around with Cena and turned him back to the old Cena. Thugonomics. So his whole thing about it is, yeah, the fans, they don't know what they want. They treated me like crap, like trash. So this whole championship is not for them, it's for me. I'm taking the belt, going home with it, ruining wrestling because the fans don't know what they want. Cody, he's defending the fans, saying that, nigga, the fans chose me to be the top guy, as opposed to you, where you was chosen unequivocally by Vince after Brock couldn't handle it, after Goldberg couldn't handle it, after Batista or Randy Orton weren't mature enough. You was the man that Vince pushed on everybody else, while everybody knew your ineptitudes. You know what I'm saying? The back and forth between Cody and Cena has been very polarizing, very interesting to say the least. And I like them because the nostalgic fans are looking at this like John Cena has to win. I don't care if he's a bad guy, good guy, or different. It's a lot of Indians on the comment pages. A lot of Indians. All y'all Middle Easterns over there that live in all these, whatever. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all Indians over there are in love with John Cena. I know y'all are Indian. I know it. You can't convince me otherwise. Y'all are Middle Eastern Indians loving John Cena. He's got to win. He's got to win. He's got to win. But the nostalgic fans the people that grew up watching John Cena, people like me, they want to see him win this championship because he damn sure deserves it. They think that this is like a crowning achievement moment. And this is like a big middle finger to Ric Flair. You know what I'm saying? And this happening is going to be huge. Because after this, who can say that they're going to be a 17-time world champion or even 18-time world champion if Cena achieves this accomplishment? Or should I say win? Because I don't want to bring no spoilers about this, but Cena is winning. And I got Cena winning, especially after the last couple weeks. Every time, like the last 2 times that John Cena and Cody Rhodes been face to face, John got dropped with the crossroads. I was hoping last night that Cena would get an AA on Cody Rhodes, but he reversed it, turned it into a crossroads. So I'm going by Triple H booking back in 2000. Whoever had the upper hand on the last show before the pay-per-view, they're going to lose the night of the pay-per-view. That's how I looked at that. And a lot of us did too, especially after he got dropped twice. And this is the thing. I don't see no people talking about this is burying Cody Rhodes. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of people saying more that Cody Rhodes, he didn't deserve, like, he shouldn't have got this in the first place. He ruined our dream with Roman and Rock, all this type of shit. Nepotism, all this, whatever. But on the other end of the spectrum, I see it like this. This doesn't hurt Cody Rhodes when he loses the belt. There's going to be an arc story behind this, the arc comeback. And this other thing. The fans want to see Cena win this belt, but how long they want to see him as the champion? Remember, this is a farewell tour. This is a farewell tour for Cena. He's going to be gone by the end of December, or is he? He keeps saying, this is the last time I'm competing at a WrestleMania. You keep saying that shit as if we believe you. Are you sure about that? You know what I'm saying? John Cena ripping out the green screen plastic. But the same, are you sure about that? Are you saying that to make us feel good, or are you lying? You know what I mean? He could be lying to us, and WrestleMania 42 could be his last one. But the thing that let a lot of people know that Cena was going to win this belt, because they revealed the dates that he's going to be showing up after WrestleMania. He's got like damn near 15, almost 20 appearances scheduled after WrestleMania, which includes Clash of Paris. His last one, I believe, is at the Clash of Paris. But it's not including SummerSlam. So that's what makes me believe stuff like, like I say, LA Knight. LA Knight could be Mr. Money in the Bank, but will he be a successful cash-in? It's a couple of things that can happen throughout this thing. But I got John Cena winning because, not saying that it needs to happen, but once we saw those dates, it was like, how this man gonna show up week after week after week on April, May, and some of June and not be the champion? He's gonna be a champion. And unfortunately, it's not gonna go the way I thought, especially after this last night's SmackDown when he got dropped twice with the crossroads. My prediction was, if you see my channel, my prediction was that Cena wasn't going to win, and that after he was going to be bitching and complaining, and Jey Uso was going to be like, nigga, what you bitching about? Type shit, while he's the world champion. So my thing was, Cena was going to lose, then he was going to target Jey, and after he targeted Jey and like screw himself, and then Jey gets screwed and loses the world title to Cena, then Roman gets involved. And then that's when the final boss and the tribal chief starts bumping heads. And then we get the WrestleMania 42 match that we've been all hoping and waiting for. Or at least y'all. But it's not going down that way, I believe, from what we can see. So I got John Cena winning the WWE Championship on Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton has been promoted, and Cena has been promoted for Backlash. So it's looking like we're going to see Cena and Orton at Backlash for the championship. But this ain't going to be no burial of Cody Rhodes. I don't think so. He's going to have a comeback story arc for this. I think he may ultimately be the one to take the title off of Cena when this is over with. But this ain't going to hurt Cody Rhodes, man. Cody Rhodes has been the guy to make everybody feel good for the most part since he's been back, you know, giving us great moments, giving us great promos, giving us great matches. And with people trying to say that his belt, his title reign's been underwhelming, I disagree. Even with, like, you know, I don't care about that. As long as the people feel good, I don't care about the underwhelmingness of shit, because I don't feel underwhelmed when he comes out. He gives the crowd the passion that they need to have when he gets out there. Whenever he does turn heel, I think he's got to milk the hell out of this babyface run as much as he can until it's over with. Now, the thing about last night, when Cena had his promo with Cody, the fans started to boo when Cody started speaking until he came back with some fire. It's almost the same as the Belgium promo. Was it in Belgium? I don't know what country it was in, but the promo where Cody said, yeah, I was chosen, but you know who chose me? The fans chose me. Can we say the same for you, John? Or was it somebody that we can't mention no more that chose you? And when he came back with that, the fans was kind of booing him a little bit then, but then after he finished it, when he said, I love you, John, you're still my hero, but you're also an asshole or a piece of shit. When he said you're a piece of shit, the fans went right back on Cody's side. And that's the same thing that happened last night when Cody tried to talk. And then he ended it talking about it's 2025 and you still can't wrestle. The fans got right back on Cody's side because he didn't panic when the crowd was trying to boom. He knew what to say. He knew how to get the crowd to turn back on him. How Roman Reigns say he knows how to flip it. He's Mr. Politician. I just saw somebody say, please let Cena win and not Joe Biden. But Cody Rhodes is a great communicator, as he would like to call it. That's what his father will call promos, communication classes. And Cody's one of the best communicators to come across a point. If you got the crowd hating him, he switched it right on you. So imagine what he can do as a heel. But nonetheless, Cody Rhodes can get the crowd on his side however he can. So when the crowd is going to start booing him in this match, because I see this match almost being similar to Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18. The Rock was the overall babyface coming into that match. And Hogan was the NWO bad guy coming into that match. But deep in the heart of hearts, Rock, you just got here. You just came number one. Hulk Hogan been that nigga. You know what I'm saying? That he's who we grew up loving and watching. So when it happened at Toronto, when the match started happening, and when Hogan started getting the upper hand, you heard that crowd go crazy for Hogan. And then when The Rock started to get the upper hand, you heard the crowd booing like, boo, fuck you, Rock. But The Rock, he knew how to change that dynamic. He knew how to listen to the crowd and be like, all right, I'll display a couple of heel tactics, a couple of heel traits to make the people hate me, but I'm going to get them right back to loving me by the end of this match. And he kind of did. This is the same type of way, but you already hear the crowd gearing towards, favoring Cena, because this is the guy that we grew up watching. Yeah, we didn't like him then, but we didn't because this was forcing him to stay babyface. But we appreciate him for being that great, for being a winner every time when there's nobody else to carry this company. When all we done for 25 years is sit on our ass and watch him be great, we didn't appreciate it. But now that this is his last year and we don't know if we're going to see him again, we got to love him. We got to appreciate him because ain't no telling. So the crowd is definitely more on Cena's side because we don't know if we're going to get this last bit of Cena. And him breaking Ric Flair's record is something that we want to see. So yay, Cena. Yay, Cena. Yay, heel Cena. Fuck you, Cody. You said you weren't even supposed to beat Roman Reigns anyway. You took our Roman and Rock match from us, and now you got a boring-ass title reign. So fuck you, Cody. We're fickle. We don't know what we want, so that's what this is all about. That's what this dynamic is going to be like. It's going to be like, fuck you, Cody, you underwhelming, boring champion. We love you, Cena. We know you. We hated you back then, but we don't know where we're going to have you. There's going to be that element all over again. Cody is The Rock, and Cena is Hogan. And tomorrow night in Vegas is going to be Bizarro Land all over again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this crowd is going to react when Cena gets that pop and gets that pinfall. and lay Cody Dash down for the 3-second tan, that crowd's going to go crazy. And then they're going to start booing too. Cena ain't going to be the one that, Cena, he's when he pins the nigga, he's going, Aah! Then he gets the belt, snatches the belt, probably wait till Cody gets back up, mops him with the belt, and then leave out with it like when he like how he walked out on ECW's One Night Stand and walk up the ramp with his back turned, like, because this is entrance. That's his entrance. He don't run down no more. He takes off his towel, the last time it's now towel, put it behind his head, and then walks while the cameraman, Stu, is showing him with that towel on the back of his head. Cena is going to do exactly that. He's going to win that belt, mop Cody in the head with it, and walk out with the belt and the faceplate showing while his back is turned, walking up that ramp like, I told you, motherfuckers. And the crowd's going to be half and half because this is what we wanted, but is this what we wanted? So I got Cena winning and becoming 17-time world champion. And then Ric Flair can't talk that shit. But then Ric Flair, he's going to say, thank me home 21 times. The 16 I'll take credit for. The other ones are in personal titles. Watch that promo if you know what I'm talking about. Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania 2008 or 2009 tour. Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan in the Ric Flair and that tour. And that nigga, man, what'd he say? Like, oh my God, the promo is I love it. I love it. Because he said, you thought March 24th, 2008 was the last day they was going to see the Nature Boy? There's a lot of promotions that's willing to get a hand on the Nature Boy. There's only one 16-time world champions. There's 5, there's 7s, there's 10s, there's going to be 12s, probably 13s. There's only one. Fact be known 21 times. 16 I'll take credit for. So this will be funny, man. If Ric Flair comes out of retirement and tries to get a championship, I'll laugh my ass off because he knows that John Cena is going to be better than him. He's going to be the GOAT at that time. As far as championships, it's going to be John Cena as the GOAT over Ric Flair. Sorry, man. But I got my money on John Cena winning his 17th World Championship. It's well-deserved. He busted his ass, became the greatest ambassador of this company from 2005 up to 2025. And like I said, it's well-deserved. I'm willing to see the developments on how this story is going to go between Cena and his heel run as champion. And however it ends, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I can never be mad at whatever happens in this company, regardless of how underwhelming or how wackly built this WrestleMania was. I'm not going to get mad at it. You know why? Because Vince ain't the one behind this shit. Like I said, if you ain't working there, you don't know how tough this shit is. You don't know how tough it is to develop a show, how to develop talent, how to develop the storylines and the angles that may come around this shit. Yeah, you may have a plan for certain things, but people get hurt. People have lives. You gotta attend to that and know that life ain't going all the way that you planned it. But I'm looking forward to this WrestleMania. Been looking forward to it for several reasons outside of the shit that everybody else been talking about. But I'm looking forward to this WrestleMania. It's a few hours away. I'm about to go ahead and watch a little bit of Stand and Deliver. But I'm anticipating seeing Jey Uso get that World Heavyweight Championship at the start of this hour, man. So like I said, let's start from the top. Like I said, I got Jey Uso beating Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I got Jade Cargill over Naomi. I got El Grande Americano over Rey Fenix. I've got the New Day over the War Raiders. I got Jacob Fatu winning the United States Championship. I got Tiffany Stratton retaining her Women's Championship. CM Punk over Roman and Rollins. Io Sky winning her triple threat match against Bianca and Rhea Ripley. The Judgment Day, Liv and Raquel beating Bayley like Valkyria. AJ Styles beating Logan Paul. 50-50 on the street fight, but I'll go lean towards on Priest. Randy Orton beating his open challenge. Dominic Mysterio becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. And once again, John Cena becoming the 17-time world champion at tomorrow's WrestleMania. But that's that on that, man. My last minute intelligent WrestleMania predictions. I don't know if I'll be able to stream it. I said I was going to try to stream it, but I don't know what's going to be happening in this household or whatever. And I know my mom don't like me being loud around here, so I'm on the fence with it. I'll try to do some reaction videos for sure, though. I'll do my best for that. If I can't do that, I'll try to do some reaction videos, especially if I see a big moment happening in this WrestleMania. But that's all the time I got for today, man. Enjoy y'all weekend. This is WrestleMania week. The pandemonium is finally here. And let's just get this shit going. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the time. I'm out this bitch like newborn puppies. Peace.